Hey everyone, welcome to the Discussion May Cry podcast, your source for all things Devil May Cry, whether it be news, information, speculation, and so much more within the DMC universe. I'm joined by one of my co-hosts, Hunter. How's it going?
What's up, man? Good to be back for another one.
Yeah, so our other co-host, Fallen, will not be able to join us today, but hopefully on the next episode he will be with us. Alright, so there's a lot to cover this week. Tons of new info came out, so we're just gonna dive straight into it. And we're gonna start with the demo being officially released worldwide for the PS4 and Xbox One. Finally. Now, this is very close to the release of the game, literally less than a month away. So, Hunter, you already did play the demo, but did you replay it?
I'm going to just eventually. I'm kind of letting my experience, kind of fade from my mind from playing it early. So I want to walk into the PS4 demo with eyes and see what's new that I can pick out this time around.
Yeah, and I have not played the demo, and I don't think I will. First of all, I've been very focused on Kingdom Hearts over the past few days, and plus, the demo is, like I said, so close to the release of the game. Is there really any point to even play it when we can just wait a few more weeks for the entire game?
Yeah, give it some merit. I mean, like I said before about the demo, you're gonna have to be reintroduced to the Capcom control scheme. It's not what Ninja Theory did. It's very different. So if you have to, get yourself used to it, either play the demo or pop in DMC4 SE, DMC4 if you have that, and just get yourself reacquainted.
True, but I would assume that once we do get DMC5, Mission 1 or something would probably be some kind of tutorial level, just to get us used to the controls. So...
it's a glorified tutorial, yeah, that's what it all is.
Yeah, so it is officially available. I'm sure tons of people have already played it, and yeah, so I'm not gonna be playing it, especially because there's so much more stuff to play right now. I'll just wait for the full game. Alright, so let's just talk about this. This really got the community talking recently. So it has officially been confirmed that the timeline of the DMC series has been changed. So, yeah, so Matt Walker confirmed this on Twitter. So right now, currently, this is the official timeline, thanks to Hunter for reminding me. So the timeline is Devil May Cry 3, 1, the anime, Devil May Cry 2, 4, and then 5, which will be released next month.
Well, depending on where you want to put it, the manga takes place somewhere between 3 and 1, but it's not here nor there.
Right. So, okay, a lot of people have a lot to say about this. This was obviously unexpected. A lot of people say now that this doesn't make a whole lot of sense. What do you think? What are your thoughts on this?
Well, I mean, they're trying to, from what I see, they're trying to include all aspects of the franchise. And they're going to have to tackle the elephant in the room eventually. Where does Devil May Cry 2 take place? So, or in the timeline, you can't just gloss over it. It's not the shining example of the series, but it's what happened. So they have no choice. Yeah, like I said, you can't keep doing that forever. So I just want to see how they're going to relate that back to 4.
Yeah, so before DMC5, it's DMC4 now in the timeline, but when did Dante come out of hell exactly, and how?
We're going to play 5 to find out.
Yeah, but this is not directly after 2, so I'm just a little confused here.
Yeah, maybe we'll get some answers. Who knows?
Maybe it could be a flashback or something.
Yeah, maybe he met the current big bad of 5 somewhere along the lines when he was trapped in hell in 2, at the end of 2.
Yeah, that's also a possibility. Also, the timeline is so confusing, especially because the DMC games are all numbered titles. This isn't like Kingdom Hearts, which has so many games, but it's not Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's Kingdom Hearts 1, Chain of Memories, 2, and then so on. Like, they're not all numbered titles, which is why it's so much easier to actually know which game comes first. You know what I mean?
No. Oh God, no. Okay, all right. I'm gonna disagree with you here.
Okay.
Kingdom Hearts. If you don't know the correct order from somebody who's played it, and you start playing the games, the story will make absolutely no sense.
But like, yeah, but
Let's
like,
just be honest.
yeah, but like, even as a fan, like for DMC, at the top of my head, I can't immediately say, oh yeah, DMC 3, 1, 2, 4, 5. It'll take me a little bit of time to actually remember the current timeline, especially because now it's changed, as opposed to something like Kingdom Hearts, which is not all numbered titles.
That is through Star Wars logic, man.
Star Wars.
Yeah, the Star Wars titles are numbered backwards.
Yeah, but it's it is numbered in okay, wait. It's numbered in order, like episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like it's all in order, as opposed to DMC 3, 1, 2, 4, 5.
All right, the first 3 Star Wars movies didn't have episode numbers on them.
Yeah,
You remember that,
right.
So yeah, okay, all right. It went backwards in the timeline essentially. So what I was thinking is it's kind of like the Star Wars timeline, but it's mixed with the Kingdom Hearts timeline. You just have to put the events together yourself. And the events do make sense at the end of the day.
Yeah, I just wish that instead of all the DMC games being numbered, they should have had a subtitle instead. It would make... Yeah, instead of Devil May Cry 3, it should be Devil May Cry, whatever. Since it is a prequel, so it shouldn't be the third in the series.
Oh, okay. Well, I think they did that to make their stockholders happy at Capcom.
I mean, yeah, that's also what matters.
Yeah, I know. Continuity-wise, it makes no sense, but to have the 3 and then the subtitle, but hey, it's whatever. We'll take it. Because Star Wars did that too. Episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
And yeah, so hey, look, I still find this pretty confusing, which is why when they rebooted it, it does make sense for them to start fresh again. But yeah. We're going back to the series, and they've just fucked up the timeline a little bit more, but that's okay. We'll just have to get used to it. And also, like,
go ahead.
Also, like, a lot of movie franchises are also doing the same thing. Just like the Halloween movie that came out last year.
Like, I was sitting there looking like, why?
Like that Halloween apparently comes directly after the original Halloween, and they disregarded all the other films in the series. So this isn't new. So it's
considering that franchise had like 8 other films, I believe.
Something like that.
I'm not sure. They even had one called Halloween H2O, but it was supposed to be Halloween 20th or whatever. 20 years later.
Also, the new Terminator film, that's coming out this year. It's also doing the same thing. I believe it's directly after the second film in the timeline, so yeah. I love how movie studios are just like, you know what, let's just forget some of these movies that ever existed.
Yeah, they're taking the video game reboot approach.
Exactly.
Okay, alright, well, I'll let them do that. I wasn't a Terminator fan anyway, so I'm not mad about it.
Yeah, I'm not connected to the franchise as well, so it doesn't really bother me.
Yeah.
Alright, let's move on, and let's talk about this Dengeki interview for the month of February. So, we've covered, I believe it was last month, Dengeki's interview about Devil May Cry, and now there's a brand new one. So, yeah, there's a lot of points to get through here during the interview. They talk about a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, so let's just get straight to it. Okay, so the first point in the interview is Matt Walker says that they are currently finishing up DMC5's post-game content, communicating remaining information, and getting user feedback. obviously not a surprise.
Well, I want to know whose user feedback this is that they're taking into consideration. So it's not like they're asking people who played the demo in a survey, what did they think?
They do have, like, people test out the game, right?
Yeah, but if a normal game tester, the guy who's paid to do that.
I mean, I don't know, maybe...
Unless Capcom Japan does some wonky shit that I don't know about.
Yeah, I mean, plus, like, obviously the game would be finished by now since it's so close to the release, so they're just finishing up all the post-game content. Makes complete sense.
Now, I wonder what some of that post-game content is.
Yeah.
But I don't need to speculate on that because it's mostly DLC, and they're probably polishing up the Bloody Palace mode. So,
as for DLC, I hope there's more single-player content, like a meaty story, as opposed to just like some skins or something. Like, no, give me a story. That will really get me to buy the DLC.
Okay, yeah. I want a Leon Kennedy skin for Dante. So hey,
yeah.
Maybe I'll get that.
Alright, so let's move on to the next point. Itsuno says that the desire to make DMC5 came from the mainstream nature of online co-op and open world games. He felt that there must be a desire for a pure action game at this point. Matt Walker says Capcom didn't want the DMC IP to lie dormant, so they got to work on reviving it. Yeah, and it was dormant for years. It was dead for a while.
Yeah, well, I saw in the interview with Itsuno-san that Dante came to him in a dream and said, "Come on, what are you doing, man? It's showtime." And then that's what prompted DMC5, but I think he was just being funny.
I'm just, like, so glad that it's finally back. And yeah, it was just, like I said, it was just dead for so long, especially because the reboot sales were not as high as they thought it would be. So a lot of questions were being asked, like, what's next for the franchise? Are we getting a game in the future?
We should be getting a game in the future. I mean, it's not necessarily a sequel to the reboot, but we should have got something,
Yeah. And
it's better than the pachinko machine they gave us.
And what do you think about what he said? Itsuno said there must be a desire for a pure action game at this point, since he mentioned online co-op and open world games, which is dominating the video game industry right now.
Well, I think he was a little off in that statement. Don't get me wrong; he works in the industry, so he would know better than me. But I think he was a little off in that statement. There's really just a demand for online games as a whole at this point, because look at the battle royale genre and see where that went for so many franchises. It even influenced the king of the modern FPS, and even then, that's still got the crown for some reason, Call of Duty. So to have a battle royale mode, focus is strength. We'll see online. We'll win the story mode.
Yeah, and also with games like God of War, recently, like, it shows that there are still so many people invested in single player story mode games, story driven games.
I'll say this: The Witcher was the perfect example of a story driven game. In 2018, The Witcher was perfect because it had every expansion that you could have wanted. Gave you great post-game content. So, yeah, things like that selling well, and things like God of War, as you mentioned, that, yeah, there's a demand for single-player games. As far as action goes, there's the Bayonetta games. Granted, they don't work for everybody, but it still, gives you that action experience.
Even something like Kingdom Hearts. That is a single player, story driven game. Heavy on the story.
Yeah, okay. Alright, I really have to ask. It's like, what's the approach to make it like Final Fantasy, whatever number they're on, really necessary? Couldn't it have just been the old school Kingdom Hearts formula?
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you mean by that?
Well, it's kind of like,
Yeah, it was.
Because I've never played it. Okay.
Yeah, it was always like that. It's just that they've expanded so much more on the combat in the new one.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Also,
Okay. I was just wondering.
the great thing about the new game is that some of these cutscenes are so long, my controller turned off. I'm not kidding.
Oh wow! Holy crap! Okay. All right. I'm glad I didn't buy that day one because I would have fell asleep on the cutscenes. Okay.
Yeah, it was literally like 15 to 20 minutes of cutscenes, without any gameplay involved. But
Holy shit.
But hey, look, I still thought the game was great.
Okay, cool. I ain't mad at it. I'm glad you found something to play in the meantime, because I don't have anything except Jump Force. So hey.
And Kingdom Hearts, it was my most anticipated game of the year, more than DMC5. So
yeah. Well, the thing is, you've been waiting about how many years longer than us?
a while.
Than DMC fans? Yeah. See, we were waiting about 10. If you're gonna count mainline entries. So yeah.
Right, and now we have DMC5, and then Dead or Alive 6 is coming out, which I'm super excited about.
Man, I'm more than excited about that, but we're not. This isn't a fighting game podcast.
Right. Okay, so let's go on to the next point. Matt Walker understandably fanboys over Itsuno's previous games like Rival Schools, Capcom vs. SNK, and DMC3. So Matt Walker is a fanboy just like all of us.
Yeah, he's a fanboy, and I love Rival Schools. I think I got a copy of the PS1 around here somewhere.
I never played it, so I can't really say anything about it.
I'm going to tell you this. It's basically Street Fighter, but with high school characters.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sounds interesting.
It's a 3D Street Fighter, essentially.
Okay, so how come they never really did anything else with that IP?
Because it was really niche. And then they do come back. The characters do come back in like crossover titles like Capcom vs. SNK and things like that. So the characters do come back. It's just they didn't have the mainline appeal of a Street Fighter game.
Capcom loves crossing over all the characters. Not complaining.
Yeah, they're gonna cross over again. They're in Project X Zone, from what I understand, for Rivals.
Yeah. All right. And obviously Walker is heavily part of the development team of this game, and he's a massive fan, so that's awesome to hear.
Oh yeah, it's great to have somebody passionate about what their company makes working on an IP, because that means it's going to be handled with more love and care than anything in the world.
Right. And also, like at every convention, Matt Walker always has the Nero jacket.
Well, I mean, he's one of the few people that has one that got it, that could basically afford it for like nothing. It might be promotional, but I'm pretty sure he's bought it by now.
Lucky. Alright, so let's go on to the next point. Itsuno says that there was a friendly rivalry between the Resident Evil 2 and DMC5 development teams as they were working on the same engine. However, they used this rivalry as fuel to work their hardest rather than anything malicious. That's cool to hear.
Oh, well, because a lot of the people that probably worked on the RE2 remake team probably worked on past DMC games. So it's like, it's like I want to say it's like, nah, I can't. I don't have anything compared to. Just keep going.
Yeah. So like, I've not played the remake, but so many people have praised it so much. Everyone loves the remake of Resident Evil 2, and with this quote, with Itsuno saying the friendly rivalry just made them work even harder, that gives us more hope for DMC5. Like, since Resident Evil 2 was so damn good, I won't expect anything less for DMC5.
Man, I'm surprised. Man, there should be. I want a Resident Evil DMC crossover. That's all this is giving me hope for.
Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yep, I want that crossover from them. Just go ahead and do it already.
Yeah, so that's great to hear. And obviously, you wouldn't expect anything less than just a friendly rivalry.
Oh yeah. They're competitive in can, but they're not dicks about it.
Right. Alright, so the next point is the difficulty of the demo has been tweaked in accordance with user feedback from events such as Gamescom. Alright.
Okay, so it might be a little easier now.
Is that a bad thing?
No, well, considering that me having played on the HD collection, me jumping in on that demo and dying 3 times before I beat Goliath is kind of an indicator of, holy shit, this game's as hard as the original DMC3, maybe.
Yeah, when it comes to difficulty,
that too.
I hope DMC5 is a tough game, just like the originals.
Yeah, I don't want it to baby us, but it's a demo, man. Come on, I just wanted to breeze through that. I didn't want to play it that long. I just wanted to play it for like an hour.
That is a good point. It is a demo, so yeah.
Yeah, it's not like you're sinking me into a full gameplay experience by having me go through a full story.
Alright, and the next point is Itsuno wanted V to encourage people to develop different strategies and play styles distinct from Dante and Nero. Okay, we'll get into more of V gameplay later on, but what do you think about what he said right here?
I liked V's gameplay. V's gameplay wasn't that bad. I really did like it. He's just slower than I thought. Even though he can't teleport in short bursts, he's slow, but you have to really look out for him because the enemies, we'll cover this later on, the enemies kind of just target V later on in the story. So you have to play a little more strategically. It's alright.
Right. Yeah, and yeah, we'll talk about it more later on, so we'll just move on. Itsuno says that in difficult battles, the enemy AI will start focusing more on trying to hurt V. This will need to factor into your strategy as you will want to keep V away from harm. So just more about V's unique playstyle. So yeah, and we've talked about it before. It's cool that this is a completely new character with a completely different playstyle than the other two guys. So that's cool.
And have you noticed, I watched the IGN gameplay, his style meter is way more forgiving than it is on the other characters, because it goes down super quick when you're playing with Nero or Dante, but his style meter will sit at 1 rank forever. I don't think that was the best way to handle that, but considering that he's not doing any of the fighting himself, it makes sense, I guess.
Yeah. And yeah, we'll talk about the IGN demo. Alright, so the next point is okay. Itsuno and Matt talk about how much of a struggle it was creating V. There were days when they thought, do we need V? Is a third character really necessary? Okay, so what do you think about this? They weren't even sure to have a third character in the game, but he's a big part now. It seems like in the story, so he must be essential.
Yeah, he must be, but the thing is, you could have traded. Like I say, I don't know too much about V. I'll have to just play the game to get more acquainted with him and more attached to him as a character. But I can tell that they were trying to give the fans something new and something different. So I don't mind V being there. I mean, he's better than a guy with a plastic bag over his head, so, hey, go ahead.
I hope he's just not shoehorned in, like, oh, we need something different, so let's just put this guy in or something. Because they even said here, they weren't even sure if this was necessary. But, yeah, so I really hope it fits well into the story, obviously. And also...
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Well, what I was saying is, V is going to be essential to the story. I mean, they're already putting him in the advertisements and stuff like that. They had their doubts initially, but I think they came around on him.
Yeah. And, yeah, he seems like a cool character. Also, I did see this online somewhere. Somebody suggested, what if V is, like, huge plot twist? What if he's the final boss? Or something.
That would be a hell of a twist. I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, and I don't think it'll be the most shocking thing in the world.
No, it won't be.
Yeah, because they've already planted seeds in the trailer that there's something going on between him and Dante. It's just a tease, obviously, but who knows?
Of course. Yeah.
All right.
He might be, might not.
Right. And yeah, so they just talk a little bit more about V. So Matt Walker says that V is really popular with the ladies. He believes that he'll become even more popular when people get to play the game. Is it a really surprise?
I mean, he spouts poetry 24/7. Why wouldn't he be popular with them? But okay.
Yeah, but then again, it's like, he's got stiff competition. There's Dante, man.
Yeah, but you gotta consider Dante is like your dad at this point.
Damn.
You're just saying, I mean, as far as age goes.
And Dante will never be too old for anyone.
And Nero, I don't want Nero to be related to me at all, but hey,
And hey, I'm pretty sure tons of ladies love Nero as well, so, like I said, he's got stiff competition with these two guys.
Yeah. I think the only thing Nero has to really fight with is his haircut, so hey.
And a lot of people have made this comparison. He looks a little like Kylo Ren from Star Wars. I don't know how the ladies feel about Kylo Ren.
Man, they toned him down a lot. You remember they redid the facial models just a little bit? He looks less like Kylo Ren now.
Yeah.
At least it's not really not like it used to be. But yeah, he's still on I guess.
Alright, so now let's move on to the next one, and this is a big one. Itsuno reiterates that Vital Stars and Holy Water are gone. He said the reason for He said the reason for this is because of shared single play. He wanted to minimize the amount of time players spend standing still fiddling around in a pause screen. Okay. Excuse me there, but yeah.
Okay, alright.
So this is a big deal. No more Vital Stars and no more Holy Water at all. This is huge, especially when it comes to boss battles.
No, I think this was lazy game design, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because you could have kept those mechanics in the game. You could have just had them be implemented in a way that didn't interrupt gameplay. Say like a special button combination from between I don't know, I'll give the PS2 controller as an example. Like L2 and X or whatever activated your items. Or holding down the because it doesn't use the right thumbstick like most normal people. Just press down on the right thumbstick and activate a quick menu to select from your items, but whatever. Kind of like how Spider-Man did with the web gadgets.
Yeah, I completely agree with you here. This, the reasoning for not having these items in the game, it's not a valid reason.
Yeah, it's really not. But I think he wants the Holy Water worked way too well on most bosses in the past, so I think getting rid of the Holy Water was a good choice, but not necessarily the Vital Stars.
Also, since they are not even in the game, this makes me wonder, is the game, we were just talking about this earlier, is the game even going to be that tough?
The game is going to be that tough because Maximilian, he was invited out to Capcom. He was flown out over the weekend, I think early during the month of February, or going out of January, going into February. He played the game, and every time he died, there was a red orb cost attached to him coming back to life, and that cost got higher and higher as he kept dying. So maybe that's their way of trying to implement the microtransaction system. They were talking about buying the red orbs.
Yeah, that's definitely possible. And also, I am kind of worried about the difficulty, because, let me go back to Kingdom Hearts. This is the easiest Kingdom Hearts game out of all of them. And I don't know, I just have a feeling this could be the same with DMC5, especially because this is the first one in years, and they would want a new audience as well. So they would want it to make it a little easier at least. So I don't know, I guess I'm just a little skeptical. Yeah, Holy Water is fine,
and the
but
Vital Star,
Vital Stars is big.
and the Vital Stars, yeah, Vital Stars is okay. They could have left him in, they could have kept him, or they could have just got rid of him. So it's whatever.
Like, that's a big deal, and plus, like, that's the best you got with a reason, because you don't want to interrupt gameplay. Like, really?
Yeah, I mean, hell, what was it? What other franchises that interrupt gameplay with healing items? Bayonetta.
Yeah. So,
Don't you just sign like your lollipop and shit to the D-pad?
I'm not sure, but yeah. So that, I mean, we'll have to wait and see how this plays out. But as of right now, there are no Vital Stars or Holy Water. So that will definitely change the way a lot of people will play the game.
It'll change the way old school players play the game. The people that had no idea that stuff was in the game in the first place, that'll buy it for the first time. Man, they won't miss anything.
Good point. Alright, so let's move on. And the interviewer noticed an provocation move in the shop, which seems to be the special expensive taunt. Etsuno emphasizes that this move isn't necessary, but looks great and can be used to boast in shared single play. Okay, so we're just talking about a taunt here.
Oh. Okay, so you're trying to show off. It helps you show off to the other players. Okay.
Yeah, I don't really care about that because it has nothing to do with the gameplay, so taunt does nothing for me.
It doesn't do anything for me either. And if I want to taunt, I'll just taunt. And a normal taunt animation should be good enough for me.
Yeah, I don't think there's any game that I care about taunting in, except from WWE games, because they actually matter in gameplay. But that's it.
Well, don't. There's one other game from Capcom that taunting mattered.
What's that?
Street Fighter 4 when you played as Dan.
I never played it.
Oh my god, okay. Alright, he basically, I think it was a meter thing. He got more meter when he taunted people. When he did a successful taunt, he got more meter. So yeah.
Yeah, I wish taunts would be implemented that way. Your meter goes up even a little bit. At least give us a reason to taunt.
Yeah, just like increase the DT meter by like 1% or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's all. That's all. It makes the taunt actually mean something.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so let's move on. And Etsuno talks about how they want the game to have worldwide appeal and to not be limited by certain regions. Things, i.e., things only Japanese players would understand.
Man,
this is what I'm talking about with difficulty.
I don't have any opinion on that, honestly.
Yeah,
because I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, they. I mean, it makes perfect sense, and it is smart to obviously make this appealing to everyone worldwide. Get as much sales as possible, especially because this seems to be the most anticipated DMC game of all time. So it does make sense.
It wouldn't. Like I say, it wouldn't bother me. Because some of the Japanese things were about the games is what made them cool and kind of cheesy.
Yeah.
Even though they were sold worldwide, it kind of added a flavor to the game.
I was listening to this video game podcast, and one of the hosts said that Japan must be like the most perfect country ever. I don't know. I just sort of agree.
You know what? You're gonna tell me Japan is the best thing ever?
Say that again.
Are you gonna tell me Japan is the best country ever?
Yeah.
Fucking weeaboo, but okay.
I don't even watch anime.
Yeah, but it's still a weeb thing to say.
It's very true. Alright, and we're down to the last 2 points. So, Okabe says that besides the Bloody Palace, there are unannounced DLC plans, but please wait patiently for them. Makes sense. Every major game has DLC, so it's not a surprise.
Yeah, but what is bigger than Bloody Palace? Why will we have to wait?
Continuation of DMC5, a short story.
Yeah, okay, I'll take it. Like an epilogue, I'll take it.
Or like we said in our last episode, maybe a guest character or something, since they did already tease that other characters could be playable. Might be playable.
Oh, I think it'd be cool if they went to Raccoon City, but whatever. You probably won't get that.
Yeah, probably not. Alright, and also
yeah.
Also, Etsuna states that the Before the Nightmare prequel novel will make the events of DMC5 more interesting.
Man, that prequel novel better explain where Dante was between 2 and 4. If the prequel novel doesn't do it and the game doesn't do it, then I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, it needs to be explained somehow, somewhere.
Yeah, it has to.
Alright, so yeah, that was it for the Dengeki interview. So there was a lot there. And yeah, I'll put the link in the description for the entire thing. So yeah, also, okay, let's just get right into this because it was mentioned a lot in the Dengeki interview. This IGN V gameplay, it's pretty long. It's like over 10 minutes or something. So we finally get a meaty video showing how V plays in DMC5. So Hunter, what do you think?
It's slow, it's clunky, but I get it. Because it's not super fast because V isn't the one doing the fighting. So you have to kind of get used to that while you're watching his pet bird and his cat blow things up. But, and you just finish him off. So the combat's got layers to it because you have to keep V out of harm's way. But you also have to make sure you're doing max damage to go get the kill as V later on.
The way he moves and some of his moves, I don't know if it's just me. Doesn't it remind you of Virgil from Virgil's Downfall in the reboots?
Yeah, well, he's real slow and deliberate, but even then, Virgil's Downfall was more fun to play because Virgil was more mobile.
Yeah. So that's the key word there, fun. I hope this is fun to play. Because that's what matters.
It'll be fun, but you have to abandon your DMC mindset a little bit. Your traditional DMC mindset to play as V.
Yeah, so do you think it'll be jarring when we switch from Nero to V or Dante to V?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm a little worried about.
Have the game. Yeah, see, you'll have to have the game for months just to play this, to play as V without it being jarring.
But hey, Etsuna says the ladies love him. That's what matters.
Man, okay, Etsuna says a lot, and I haven't run into any, I don't know, maybe the Japanese women love V, I don't know. But I don't go to conventions like that, so maybe he knows something I don't.
And I know Fallen isn't here, but he would definitely comment about the flip-flops.
They're gladiator sandals, but anyway, yeah. I don't know any man that can rock gladiator sandals, but okay.
We talking about V. He's rocking it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. But he's more of a tortured poet kind of guy, so it makes sense.
Yeah, so after going through this gameplay, I am still excited to play as him. It is something fresh, something new to the series. So I'm still excited. And I want to know more about this guy.
Yeah. I mean, so far they're filling him as the emo kid at Hot Topic that got too far into witchcraft and demonology, so hey.
Those are the best kind of people.
Yeah. He's one of those cool guys you'll run into at Hot Topic. He's not the creep. So,
Exactly, and he's also so mysterious still. So
Yeah, because he is secretly Batman.
there we go.
Yeah, you heard it here, folks. Yeah, you heard it here first. Yeah, you know.
All right, so let's also talk about this. Now, this is a big deal for me, at least. Okay, so this is I gotta give credit to DMC5 Info on Twitter. This is where I got the news from. So here's the official tweet from that account. Thanks to at Cosmic LAER kindness, we were able to get some pictures of the interview section of the updated Devil May Cry art book. While there's a lot to go through, browsing in the hotel shows Itsuno confirming Nico is Agnes's daughter. Agnus from Devil May Cry 4. Okay. This is weird.
Okay, alright. Alright, there's a lot more questions that I have and a lot more questions that you probably have.
Yes. Okay, so...
one,
go ahead.
Who slept with that? Or was she like created in a lab or something? I mean, it makes sense. I mean, he was a scientist, but still.
That's not my problem with this. My problem is why so many franchises, Kingdom Hearts loves doing this as well, they always have to connect all the main characters with each other. Instead of Nico being a standalone, badass character, she has to be connected to someone already in the DMC universe. Do we need that?
Wait a minute. This ponders even more questions. If she's a goldsmith that made Dante's original pistols, then was Agnus such a failure because he could not restore Yamato? Or was he a genius because he could make people into demons?
I have no idea, and we're
asking way too many lore-related questions right now.
I just don't see the reason for this. Why couldn't she just be a standalone character, as opposed to, hey, she's connected to someone you know already.
Well, I mean, it sells the game. I mean, think about it. She's the one person that was probably she was the one person that probably wasn't in Fortuna because she knew her dad was crazy.
Also, like when you see Agnus, do you see Nico? Or when you see Nico, do you see Agnus at all?
No, and that's what makes me think that we have a weird situation here. Alright, have you seen the anime Bleach?
I have not.
Okay. Alright, so there's this character called Kurotsuchi. He's a captain or whatever, and he created his own daughter. Named her Nemu, but she looks nothing like him. So that's what's making me think that this is that kind of scenario.
I mean, hey, anything is possible.
Yeah, so I don't know, but I don't see Agnus in her at all. I'll have to look at her again, but I don't see any Agnus in her. Because she doesn't have the big nose Agnus had.
Also, who cares about Agnus? This isn't some major character that people still care about. So why is he...
No. He had the funniest death scene, though.
True, that is a good point, but overall, the character himself, most people don't care about him, so I don't know why we still need a character connected to him at all.
Well, you gotta have something related back to the old game. You gotta have something there. And it'd be kind of interesting when Nero finds that out, that holy shit, really? Maybe it's for comic relief, who knows?
Also now...
And maybe Itsuno's just trying to joke with us.
Also, maybe this is pretty crazy, but, is there a possibility that Nico turns on them? Because, hell,
no.
Dante did kill him.
There's a possibility, but if she knows anything about Agnus and how cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs he went, then she probably wouldn't care.
Maybe, but I still think because, hey, that's the guy that killed your own father. We don't know what the relationship is between Nico and Agnus. We don't know how they were, if they hated each other, if they loved each other. But, yeah.
Regardless, regardless, what's Nico gonna do? It's not like Nico can kill him.
Maybe she. I'm thinking of something.
I'm just saying, that no matter what she makes, it will not be able to kill Dante.
Maybe she teams up with someone, like, or just aligns herself with someone. I don't know.
What, she's gonna align herself with Nero and have Nero try to kill Dante?
Maybe not Nero.
Or maybe V and Nico are trying to kill Dante together.
There we go, dude.
Nico, excuse me.
There we go.
Oh Lord, okay, alright. Okay, I think the DMC universe is officially the best crossover of all time. Holy shit. Because we're getting so many characters that shouldn't even be related to each other, but okay.
Yeah, so look, hey, I mean, I don't get it. I don't get why they have to be connected at all, but they are. Maybe this will be interesting in the story. Maybe they will bring that up a few times. Maybe something will happen. But as of right now, I'm not really a fan of this choice.
It's dumb, but I mean, there was a lot of people speculating that before the game even came out, before this news even came out. So he had to say that Suno might just be trolling people because he heard us say it.
Yeah, absolutely. Alright, so let's move on, and let's talk about Super Smash Brothers.
No.
Alright, so...
No, I'm kidding, go ahead.
Alright, so this is a article from NintendoEverything.com. So, obviously, Dante has been highly requested in the Super Smash series. It's never happened.
Okay, I gotta know, since when?
A while.
Wow, okay, alright, I've been completely asleep on that, okay.
Obviously, since there's so many different characters in the game, people want to see Dante. So, here's what Atsuno had to say about all that. Well, you think about it, I'm pretty sure that all the characters in Super Smash at least have some game on a Nintendo platform, right? Well, that's the thing. Devil May Cry has never been on a Nintendo platform, so it seems like the first thing to do would be to get Capcom to put Devil May Cry on a Nintendo platform in some way, shape, or form, whatever game that might be. That's really what he says about it. So, okay, isn't the main character from Metal Gear in Super Smash?
Yeah, but that's because Metal Gear has a GameCube entry.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, okay, maybe... Oh, I guess he is right.
Final Fantasy started on Nintendo, so that's why Cloud can be in it.
Yeah.
Who else is in there? Bayonetta has an entry on the Wii U.
Yeah.
Street Fighter is basically been on everything Nintendo until recent generations anyway.
I mean,
so on Nintendo, so that makes sense.
Yeah, so he did mention that in order for this to happen, he would want a Devil May Cry game to be on a Nintendo platform. So does that open up the possibility of DMC5 potentially being on Nintendo in the future?
Man, that would be... Okay, alright. I gotta say this. If you're gonna put on the Switch, give the Switch a better controller. Get a Pro Controller for your Switch, because trying to play on the Joy-Con would be a nightmare.
I've dropped out from Nintendo. I've not been a Nintendo guy for a few years. Switch doesn't really intrigue me, so this doesn't really matter for me.
It doesn't matter for you, but I'm saying, if you want to play it on the Switch, just get a more comfortable way to play it.
Right, yeah, I mean...
If it's on the Switch, go ahead. It'll be downrated as hell, but yeah.
I personally never played the Joy-Con controllers, but they look pretty, uncomfortable.
They are uncomfortable if you have big hands like me. I'm a big dude. I'll give you an example. The original Duke controller if I could just use that from the original Xbox, would be my primary controller for everything.
Yeah, and obviously Nintendo loves these gimmick type of systems.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like, hey, we're fine with a standard controller.
Ooh, you know what would be a good DMC entry to put on it? You remember DMC's got another mobile game coming out.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, it's got that Pentacle combat game. Maybe that'll work.
Okay, but let's answer the question. Will Dante ever be in Super Smash?
V in Smash? What?
Will Dante be in Super Smash?
Oh, I thought you said V. I'm like, what the hell?
Oh, no.
Dante probably won't be.
Really? You don't think so?
No, because that's overpowered shit.
I mean, Bayonetta isn't it, so...
Yeah, and that's probably the only time.
And
but Camille will probably lose his damn mind if Dante is in with Bayonetta. Camille might just have Bayonetta taken out if Dante makes it in.
And plus, like you mentioned, Street Fighter and everything, there are a few Capcom characters in Super Smash already, so maybe we do get a DMC game down the line on a Nintendo platform, and maybe in the future we'll finally see Dante in one of these games.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. I mean, I'd like to see my boy Goku make it in first, but yeah.
Oh man, talk about overpowered.
Oh yeah, but people have been asking for Goku a lot longer, from what I understand.
Yeah, and look, I have played a Super Smash game before. It's super fun. I would love to play the new one if I had a Switch. And hell, if Dante does appear in a Super Smash game in the future, I would definitely try to get it.
Yeah, and they got Joker from Persona 5 in Smash now, so, you know, anything can happen. So that's the first example of a non-Nintendo character being in Smash. So it's possible.
Anything is possible, dude. It's Itsuno.
Yeah. And you forget, Itsuno is probably the most powerful man at Capcom. So, yeah.
Oh, and he's just awesome. He's the best.
Yeah, he's real passionate about whatever he works on.
Exactly. So yeah, this just this doesn't close the door on on the possibility of Dante being in Super Smash. We'll have to wait and see.
Put Matt Walker in Smash. That's all I need. Put Matt Walker in Smash. That's it.
There we go. There we go. Perfect.
I'm sure he'd lose his damn mind. Just give him that.
Alright, and let's talk about this. So, recently it was revealed that Devil May Cry 5, Dante almost wielded a saxophone as a weapon. So here's what it says here. Capcom almost added 2 more absurd entries into the long line of ridiculous things Dante uses as a weapon, but they were sadly scrapped before they could be added into the game. One of them was a saxophone, and one of them was figure skating weapons.
See, I would have taken the figure skating weapons, and I would have taken the saxophone. That would have been a day one buy. I don't know what they were thinking.
I agree, man. Like,
yeah, that's better than the banana breaker. And I hate to tell you that, Javier, when you come back, but you know, hey.
But yeah, talk about pretty ridiculous. I mean, hey, they already have the Faust hats, so saxophone. I mean,
that would have been great for the saxophone. Oh my god. Okay, all right, let me calm down.
I mean, talk about being super creative with your weapons. Like, I would really be interested to see how that would have worked.
Man, that better be the DLC weapon.
There we go. You just got it, dude. That is the DLC.
Yeah, it better be. And I want my figure skates too, just to see where they take that. I want the figure skates too.
I completely agree with you. So, all right. So, we talked about a lot today. So, Hunter, final thoughts on everything we talked about today.
Man, let me see. Oh, shit, I gotta take a shower. Let's see. It was fun. Today, I didn't expect to do that much talking. My jaw is tired, and I need some water.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, and
I
my
had fun talking about it, but
and my final thoughts are, hell, I mean, there's a lot to cover in the Dengeki interview, so I'm glad we talked about all of it. I'm still very skeptical about this whole Nico and Agnus relationship.
yeah, I don't know what they were thinking. Maybe they were high. Who knows?
Yeah, like this has to be something interesting in the story. Like this really has to be something in order for me to actually give this a pass. So I hope this is implemented well, because if not, there is absolutely no point to use this as a story plot point. But we will see. And also, I'm pretty sure in the future Dante will be in Super Smash. Maybe it will take years, but it will finally happen in the future.
Oh yeah, it'll happen faster than Goku in Smash, though. You know.
And also, hey, let's see how crazy the weapons can get. They were already thinking about a fucking saxophone, so like we said, Atsuno is a crazy man.
Weapon. Hey, he doesn't even have to play the saxophone. I just want to be able to beat people over the head with it. So,
There we go. Atsuno, he's a man.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you know what? I got one more idea. It plays the Cowboy Bebop opening. There you go.
Perfect.
And you beat people with the opening to Cowboy Bebop. There you go.
Perfect. We just made the perfect weapon.
Yep, we make the enemies dance themselves to death. There you go. Okay, we got something.
Perfect. Alright, so thank you so much for listening to the Discussion Made Cry podcast. If you want to go in detail about all the stories we talked about today, it will all be in the description below, all the articles we talked about. And yeah, we are getting very close to the game, less than a month, which is pretty crazy and exciting. So, yeah, so stay up to date for all the latest DMC news on this channel. Go ahead.
Oh, no, nothing. I'm stretching.
Okay, alright. And if you know a friend that's into Devil May Cry, just tell them about the channel. It will really help us out. So, yeah, thank you so much for listening once again, and subscribe for all the latest DMC news.